Before smartphones ruled our days, before cars drove themselves and screens followed us everywhere, there was a time when life in Great Britain moved more slowly. A time when people looked each other in the eye, when laughter echoed through cobbled streets, and when small things carried great meaning. Today we're going back to that world, to the 1960s, a decade of charm, grit, and unspoken beauty. Here are 20 forgotten things from 1960s Great Britain, the moments, the sounds, and the feelings that once made this island feel truly alive. If you grew up in those days or if your parents or grandparents did, this journey will bring those memories back. And maybe, just maybe, make you miss a world that's gone. 1. The milkman's early morning whistle. Before supermarkets and delivery apps, the milkman was part of daily life. You'd hear his whistle before sunrise, the soft clink of glass bottles on your doorstep. Fresh milk. Cream on top. Sometimes a friendly morning love, before he disappeared down the road. It wasn't just milk. It was routine, reliability, and the comfort of knowing someone was looking out for your home. 2. The red telephone box. Those bright red boxes stood proudly on every corner. They weren't just for making calls, they were shelters from the rain, teenage confession booths, and meeting spots before first dates. You'd push open that heavy door, smell the metal and dust, and hope you had enough coins to finish your call before the operator cut you off. 3. The smell of coal fires. In winter, the whole town carried the same perfume, coal smoke. It lingered in the air, clung to your clothes, and gave every evening that cozy glow. It meant warmth, family, and stories told by the fire. Today it's just a memory, but for those who lived it, that smell was home. 4. The Sunday roast tradition. Sundays weren't for errands or endless scrolling, they were sacred. By noon, every house smelled of roasted meat, gravy bubbling, and Yorkshire pudding rising in the oven. The family gathered round, no phones, no distractions. Just conversation, laughter, and the slow comfort of togetherness. It wasn't fancy. It was family. 5. Halfpennies and shillings. Before decimalization in 1971, money looked like treasure. Farthings, florins, and half-crowns, each with its own story and weight. Kids carried pockets full of coins that jingled like music. It was confusing, yes, but it had character, and somehow, everyone knew what everything was worth. 6. The ice cream man's bell. On a hot afternoon, the sweetest sound wasn't music, it was the faint jingle of the ice cream van. You'd grab your pennies, run barefoot to the street, and wait your turn. A flake, some raspberry syrup, and a smile that made your whole day. 7. Hearing the Beatles for the first time. When Love Me Do hit the airwaves, something shifted. For the first time, it felt like the world was listening to us. The hair got longer, the rules got looser, and Britain became the heartbeat of youth and rebellion. The Beatles weren't just a band, they were a cultural earthquake. 8. The corner sweet shop. Before big supermarkets, there was always a tiny sweet shop nearby. Rows of glass jars filled with pear drops, toffee, licorice, and sherbet lemons. A single penny could buy you magic, measured carefully with a metal scoop and a smile. Every child remembers that smell, sugar, dust, and happiness. 9. Fish and chips in the newspaper. Hot, greasy, and perfect, wrapped in yesterday's headlines. You'd sit on a bench by the seaside, tearing into the crispy batter, fingers covered in salt and vinegar. No boxes, no branding, just simple British joy. 10. The Mini Cooper craze. The 1960s weren't just about music, they were about movement. And nothing moved like the Mini Cooper. It was tiny, affordable, and full of attitude, the car that said, "You don't need money to have style." From the city streets to racing circuits, the Mini became an icon of freedom. 11. Pub sing-alongs. Before karaoke nights and jukeboxes, pubs had pianos, and everyone sang. From My Old Man's a Dustman to Hey Jude, it wasn't about pitch or rhythm. It was about people, friends, laughter, and that warm feeling only found in a local pub on a Friday night. 12. Vinyl records and the Dansette player. You didn't stream songs, you owned them. You'd pull the record from its sleeve, lower the needle, and wait for the gentle crackle before the first note played. It made you appreciate music, not as background noise but as an event. 13. The corner laundrette. The laundrette wasn't just for washing clothes, it was where stories unfolded. Gossip, romance, heartbreak, all shared over the hum of the machines. Every small town had one, and every regular had a story. 14. Mods and rockers. The youth of the 60s didn't just dress differently, they defined themselves. Mods with sharp suits and scooters. Rockers with leather jackets and motorbikes. It was rebellion in motion, two tribes, one era. It scared the old folks, but it made Britain cool again. 15. Black and white television nights. Before color came to every home, families gathered around flickering black and white screens. Shows like Coronation Street and Doctor Who became events. Kids sat cross-legged, eyes wide as Daleks shouted, "Exterminate!" and everyone laughed when the picture blurred. It wasn't perfect, but it was magic. 16. The Empire's fading glow. The 1960s were a time of change. Britain's empire was shrinking, independence movements were rising, and the country began looking inward, redefining who it was without its colonies. It was uncertain, yes, but also hopeful. A new identity was being born. 17. The Post Office Savings Book. Before debit cards and apps, there was the little red book. Each deposit stamped neatly, each pound saved with pride. It taught patience, and the quiet power of saving for something you truly wanted. 18. Handwritten letters. No notifications. No seen check marks. Just ink, paper, and emotion. A handwritten letter carried more than words, it had presence. The joy of seeing familiar handwriting on an envelope, that's something technology can never replace. 19. Sunday football on the village green. Before the Premier League and billion-pound stadiums, football was pure. A muddy pitch, jumpers for goalposts, and neighbors cheering from the sidelines. You didn't play for fame, you played for pride. 20. The spirit of community. And perhaps the most precious thing of all, the sense of belonging. Neighbors knew each other by name. Doors were left unlocked. If you were in trouble, someone showed up. No text, no call, just kindness. It was a slower world. A gentler one. And though it's gone, it still lives on. In our stories, our songs, and the quiet nostalgia that creeps in on rainy afternoons. So here's a question for you. Which of these moments do you remember most vividly? Or maybe you've only heard about them from your parents or grandparents. Share your memories in the comments. Let's keep those stories alive. Because time moves fast, but memories like these deserve to stay. If you love stepping back into Britain's forgotten years, don't forget to like this video, subscribe, and join me for our next nostalgic journey, where the past still whispers if you know how to listen.